What if you could automate 80% of your business or 80% of your job? Well, my name is Skylar. I run an AI agency helping business owners automate tasks with AI. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you everything that I know about n8n and how you can build basically anything in n8n. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some tips that I've learned after spending hundreds of hours of building workflows in n8n. Let's get into it. One of the most important things when it comes to building things in n8n is understanding the use cases, understanding what it is that is possible to build with what tools you're given. So the best way to do that is to watch videos, learn about what automations people have made with n8n, and also to start building things for yourself and understand what you can do. Next up is the triggers. So the triggers are going to be how you actually start the workflow. You can have automatic or manual triggers. I'll show you here. This is a brand new workflow. You click add step and you can see we have manual, app event, schedule, webhook, on form. There's a bunch of different ways you can trigger things. Usually when you're just testing things out, you're going to have either a manual or a chat message to trigger the automations. But as you do some automations that are going to run by themselves, for example, on schedule, you can make something run every hour, every day, every minute. Or a webhook, you can have another website, another program, another application trigger this workflow that you have here, or you can even have another workflow trigger this workflow. So webhooks are really, really important when it comes to building automations because they are the thing that allows you to connect other websites, applications into your workflow and send information, like I was saying. So essentially, it's very simple to set up. You trigger a workflow with a webhook by clicking on a webhook call, and you can set the different types, like either test or production. Test is going to be when you're using a webhook just in here. Like you can see, if you click execute or close, it's going to be waiting for the test URL. And the production URL, you're going to use that one whenever you've already set your workflow to be live and you want it to just run in the background. So you have different types of methods, get, head, patch, post, put. Essentially, these are going to be different actions that you want the webhook to do. The most common one you're probably going to use is going to be put post. And you can set the path to wherever you want or leave it as a custom one. And you have different types of authentication or how it responds. Next, we're going to go over nodes. So nodes are essentially the actions that you're going to be getting your workflow to take for you. And there's tons of pre-built nodes already in n8n, which is really, really useful. As you can see here, we have the trigger nodes that we were showing. So we can set up trigger node and then we could click and add another one. So we have AI nodes, for example. These are really, really powerful. This is where a lot of n8n became really popular recently, is because of the use of AI nodes. And we could do things like chat with ChatGPT. We can have a question and answer chain, sentiment, summarization, text classifier, all kinds of different actions that you can do with the different AI models. So I'll show you here quickly. We can come here. This is a basic LLM chain, and we can set it to define below. So we could set this to whatever we want. Can you make a list of 100 business names for an AI agency? So we need to add a model, and to do that, we just click here. I like to use OpenRouter. OpenRouter is really useful. It allows you to connect to basically any LLM model that's out there. I'll show you guys quickly how to actually do that. So we just go to openrouter.com or .ai, sign in, account, and then come to keys. You want to create a new key and type in wherever you want your key made to be. You just say n8n, create, and then copy our key right here, come back into our workflow. I click on this little pencil icon, and so we're going to click on this, create new credentials, and let's count this 10 key, and paste our API key in here, hit save, and that's going to save our credentials. And you just got to make sure that you have some credits in your account so that it actually does work. But super, super simple to set up. Then you want to select the model that you want. So you can see ChatGPT 4.1. And we now have this little node set up. We'll delete this message. We don't need this. We just have it like this. And we can do execute. And it's going to execute. And it's going to execute our ChatGPT message or our OpenAI message. And take a second here. Boom, there we go. We have our output absolutely here, 100 business names, and we have 100 business names right there. And now with this information, we can do all kinds of things, and I'll get to that later, but this is just an example of an AI node. So then other types of nodes, we have action and app. So these are apps that have already been connected to n8n. Makes it really, really easy for you to connect. They basically give you tutorials in the description of how to actually connect each of these. Like if you want to see, we have box, and we click on docs, and they'll have a little document form on how to connect the box now. So it's super, super easy. And even if you're having trouble with that, you could just give this document to ChatGPT and ask it to walk you through step by step, but it'll be even easier to figure that out. But yeah, it's super useful to go through here and just kind of see what different programs you can with. You use a lot of Google stuff. We'll try Google Sheets, slides. So this just shows what the things that you can automate through these built-in connections. Then we have the data transformation. So once we do something with data, for example, we got those 100 list of business names, we can then do something with that, and we can use these data transformation to do that. So we could just write our own code if it's something very custom that, some of these preset options don't allow us to do. And if with that, again, you don't really need to know how to code, I just ask ChatGPT a bunch, or Claude, whichever AI model is the best at the time, and I get it to write the code for me, and it almost always gets it the first, second, third time. You can do things like manipulate the time and day, just set different fields and a limit, all kinds of different actions that you can do. And again, same thing, like if you're having trouble with certain things you can't figure it out, give it to ChatGPT. You can literally copy this. See how to copy these? You can copy these and paste them, and it'll give you the actual code of your node. And this is super helpful because when you give this to something like Claude, it knows exactly what the note is that you're talking about, and it can help you understand how to use it. Next up, we have flow. So flow is going to be pretty similar to the data transformation in terms of its built-in actions that have already been coded in. And it just makes it easier to do things like merging or looping over items, if statements, filters, switch is very, very common, weighing, just anything you can think of that you would want, they pretty much have it pre-built already. It's just the more like custom things that you're going to need to write some code for, but I really wouldn't worry about it. You could do a lot of stuff just without writing any code. And again, like I said, you will get AI to write the code for you. Core, this is going to be, I'll get to this in a second, but this is going to be the HTTP nodes, the webhooks. These sort of things are really, really powerful for connecting with basically any website, any application, because most of the bigger websites and applications out there, they have API access. And so you just need to figure out how to connect those. And that's where you could do a lot of stuff. And then we have the wait for human in the loop. So, if you want to wait, once your automation gets to a certain point, if you want to wait for a human to come and select something or do something, you can have that as an option. That way, the workflow won't proceed unless it's been verified by a human, for example. So HTTP nodes, like I said, this allows you to connect basically anything online. So for example, if we want to look, we have n8n labs. So we type in 11, there's n8n labs. And that's an AI voice model that can take text and turn it into an actual AI speaking. So for that, what we would have to do is go to HTTP request. Super simple. We're going to want to basically go to 11 labs API documents. So like I was saying, a lot of these websites already have API access, which makes it really easy to connect basically anything. And you can see here we found 11 labs API reference. So we can click on text to speech and we'll say create speech. So this is what we want to do. And we have the command right here. And we have, so you can see it's a post, and we have the URL, and it's going to give us a random voice ID type output. Okay, so we're going to copy this right here. And we're going to paste this in here. Post authentication. We're going to want to do none for now. We can do headers, and we're going to come back here. We're going to look at exactly what it needs. So it's going to need a header called X API key. So we're just going to copy that. We're going to come back to here, paste with that. We're going to copy this right here. X API key. And then we need to figure out how we find our API key on 11 labs. So we're going to type in 11 labs API key. Okay, so we're going to sign in. We're going to look for our API key here. So probably somewhere, but API keys. And we're just going to create a new one. We'll call this n8n tap. And we'll just input it as unlimited access. We will unrestrict the key, create, copy to clipboard, and then come back here, paste our API key here. Boom, we got that. And then we have text, we have model ID 38. So these are going to be, these are going to be bodies. So we're going to click on set body. We're going to have the name text, and we're going to say, hey, we have our text, and then we want to add one more parameter, and that's going to be the model ID. Come back here, model ID, and then we're going to take this one, multilingual. We don't need multilingual, but and we're going to execute step, and this is now going to create that audio file. So again, here,
Hey, this is some audio that I just generated for this n8n video. Hope you guys can make some cool stuff like this.
Boom, there we go. We have a fully automated, the ability to fully automate a voice generation through an HTTP request, even though there's no 11 labs. There's no 11 labs node already there. So next we have code nodes. These allow you to do basically anything, and all you do is type in code right here. Like I said, you really don't need to know how to code. And then we can see now we have the ability to drag that variable in. So we can take this, drag it in. And so what I'll usually do is say, as you can see here, I wrote, can you write me a code snippet for JavaScript that takes this input and copies it 108 times with the output. This is totally random. Don't know why you would need to do this, but if you did, this is how you could do it. So copy this, go to ChatGPT, paste it in here, and it'll give you a code snippet, super quick. Probably ignore it first time, copy it, paste it in here, hit execute, and let's see what happens. Okay, didn't work. JSON property is an object. We literally, you could tell this, or you just copy it, paste the error. It's gonna come in here. For books you're working at n8n, we need 108 objects of an array, and book copy, paste, execute, and there we go. Second time works. So now we have 108 items of testing, and that's a little custom code note that we made. So super useful. If you have anything that is not a preset ability to do in n8n, then you can just get JavaScript code to write that. It also do Python, but I just use JavaScript. It seems to work better for me. Next up, we have expressions. So I went over this a little bit, but we have these expressions like you can see here. We have the testing that looks like this, $ input first, JSON.test. But what we can also do is if we go to set, so we want to set another variable, we can take this expression and we can paste it in here. We say this is another test. And we want to save this variable. So as you can see here, this is the variable from our code right here. Now there's going to be a few things to note here. If this is the previous node, then it's going to be $JSON.test. But if you see here, if we set another one after it, and we do the same thing, and we execute this, this is going to execute 108 times. We execute this, and we come back to this one. Now if we pull it in, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to actually define the node that it came from. And this is important because sometimes you'll change your workflows around and you'll need to update where it's coming from. So keep that in mind if you have broken one of your workflows and you don't know why, that could be it. Okay, so for the sake of this example, I changed the code a little bit so that it shows a number at the end of the variable so you can see they're all different. And if we come back into this here where we're setting a variable, we want to pull one of these variables. So right now it's doing item dot. So this means that it's going to pull whichever item is in this run. So as you can see here, we have 108 items coming into this, which means this node is going to run 108 times. And they're all going to be slightly different because they're all saved as a different variable. As we can see here, when I click this little item, it changes the output here. Now, there's a few different things we could do here. We could do first, and this will just grab the first item. This is pretty useful. And we also have item matching, which we can do, and we can select whichever we want. So say we just want to grab the 55th item, which in this case is testing 56 because 0 is the first item. We can do that, and we can execute, and that's going to output just the 56th one for 108 times. Okay, now the fun part, some examples. So a few things just kind of off the top of my head as I was building this that you could do. You can make a Google Sheets, data logging, you could do email summaries, extract data from photos/images, auto-create content/post, trigger automations by Slack/Telegram bot. So these are all things that you can do in n8n. So let's build something here. So the goal is to build a system to take a CSV file of company data, put it into Google Sheets, create a message for them, and then send that message. So how are we going to do this? First off, we're going to need to generate the CSV file. So how can we do that? A good way is we can come to ChatGPT or create ourselves. There we go. So I had to go back and forth a few times, but I got to give me a downloadable CSV file, and we have that. I've downloaded it now, and we can take that and we can do something with it. So let's see it. We have create the CSV file. We got that done. Now we want to import the CSV file. So there's a couple different ways we could do this, but a really easy way that I like is just using Google Drive. So we got to create a new node. We're going to do Drive. This is going to be a trigger node for creating whenever a folder is involved. We want to search for a specific folder. We're going to search for temp. I have a temp folder that I created, and watch for when file is created. Okay, we're on Google Drive. We're in the folder now. We're going to take this file of the gyms that I just got, or fitness studios. We're going to put that in here, come back to our n8n workflow, and we can fetch test events, and it's going to look for previous files, and we found that one. So now we can take this, and we can do download, because we just have found the file we've downloaded yet. So download. So Google Drive, download file, and then we need to give it the file ID. Let's scroll down here, find the ID. You can also just type in ID, and make sure you have the right one. We have file ID right here. Put that here, execute step. That's going to download the CSV file. Now we have the CSV file in this workflow. We then want to take that data and extract it. So we want to type in CSV, extract from CSV. We want to have this set up. It's already set up for data and data. So we need to extract, and boom, we have all 10 items, as you can see here, that were in CSV file. Okay, so now I want to create a Google Sheets full file. So we want to go Google Sheets. I want to create a spreadsheet, and we want to name this business outreach. And then we want to add some titles, such a list sheet. So we want to add business. We'll say fitness outreach. Okay, so now we have the sheet, business outreach. We're going to execute that. And we now can go check this out. So we have the URL right here. Up here, go to that sheet, and we can see business outreach. We have the new sheet. Great. Awesome. So this, we don't need to find another one, so we just leave it there. We could have just done that main as well, but yeah, it's just cool to see how you can do it in n8n if you want to have an automation to create new sheets every day, etc. But for this case, we're going to now just reference the sheet. So we want to add another one, Google Sheets. We want to create, append a row, and we should come back in here. So now we have all the different fields set up. We have name, address, website, email, phone number. So I'm going to come back in here. We want to click on append a row. We want to select the document, so we can just copy the URL here and click on this by URL, paste that, and we can do find this outreach sheet. This is going to populate with all the fields. And so now we have our workflow here is going to search Google Drive. It's going to download the file, extract the file, and that gives us the information that we can then put into Sheets. So we need to set this up. We need to run it once here. And there go with 10 items. So for each of these items now, we're just going to drag these expressions in. Email, website, phone number, and address. Okay, but you do address. Notes. Well, let's change that. Notes. Okay, we're going to execute, and we can look here, and boom, I just did all of those, put them all in here. That's super cool. So now when we come here, I kind of skipped a few steps, but we have import CSV, we have extract CSV, which we did, we have save the database, which we just did, and now I want to give to AI. So like I was showing you before, we have these AI nodes we can use. So we can do basic LLM chain. We can select to define below our message, and we can give it prompt and say, well, actually we can use AI to create the prompt for us as well. Okay, so I just gave this prompt to an AI model here, 4.0. I said, can you create me a prompt for my AI automation to take data from the business and craft me a custom message for them to sign as a client of my agency. And we had this little message here. It's done writing. There we go. And we can paste this in here. We want to select expression. We want to open this up, and we can then, we have proof of data. We can go like this and say name, email, website, all, address, else. And we have name, boom. We have email, boom. We have a website. Not that a website really is going to make a difference. And we have notes. Okay, I'm not even going to read over this, but I'm sure this is pretty good. Example format, we'll add my name. Or submit their name. n8n, even though it's business. And then here we have our stuff, scatter, and that's it. Okay, so now we can take this and we can run this. And for each of those 10 items that's going to run, we just need to connect an AI model. So I showed you before how to use Open Router. We'll just use Open Router again. We'll just select GPT 4.1 mini, and we can run this, execute, and this is going to run 10 times and give us 10 different outputs. As you can see here, the numbers are going now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom, there we go. We have all the outputs here. Now we want to take these and add them back into Google Sheets. So we go to Google Sheets and we can say update a row, and we can select the same document. So again, we want to go to URL. We can come back here, copy our URL, paste it in here. Sure. And then sheet from list, we want to select the outreach one, and we want to select to match on the name. So this is going to match the fields based on our name. So we want to come back here, colon our name, and this is going to be these names right here. We want to pull the name in, and we want to add a new field and call this AI custom message. We then want to take a refresh. We want to take our text, put it in right here, and we can hit execute step, and it's going to run for those 10 items again, and boom, there we go. We have 10 custom AI messages based on the inputs that we've given the AI model, and it didn't put a name, but we could fix that later. And last off, we have send an email. And so we could automate this too. We could make a little system, and we could link a Google, or so we could link Gmail, and we could send out the email by doing this. But in this case, we probably want to go over the email and just look over it first to make sure it's good before we send it out. And maybe we don't want to send them all at the same time. But if you want to do that, you could as well. And so that's a quick little example of something that you can do in n8n. And like I said, this is just one thing. There's so many different automations that you can make. The more you use it, the better you'll get at it, and the more fun things you could do. Next, we're going to go over debugging. So debugging is something that I have done more recently, and it's saved me a lot of time and made it a lot easier to edit and see what's going on in my workflows. So what this looks like is I changed the workflow a little bit. So as you can see here, I added a switch. So this is basically looking at the file type and is saying if it's a CSV file or a PNG file, and it's going to do a different part of the workflow depending on which one we select. So in this case, if we run this right now, this is going to do the CSV file, and it's going to run that execution. But now say the same folder, we added a PNG file and it came down here and did that. Later on, we want to see maybe there's an error with the PNG file, maybe it didn't work, or maybe it uploaded the wrong data, something along those lines. We can click executions and we can see that in here. We could see exactly what happened and we can debug it and fix it. But if we don't know, if we have multiple parts of our workflow that are being executed in the same system, then it's hard to tell which of these workflows is actually the right one, which of these executions is the right one that we want to debug. So what we could do is add a execution data node at the end. And that basically just looks like this. We have it save highlight data. We have key and CSV value. And basically this will allow us to come back into executions. We can then filter. We can click on filter by tags. So we can click on key, type in our key, and we can type in the output, which is CSV. Click here, and as you can see, we have our executions that have been executed through CSV files. Boom, right there. And if it was the PNG, we would just do the same thing, filter, PNG, and there's none, but they would come up here if we had run this one. And so that makes it really, really easy to debug things, especially when you have bigger and larger automation workflows. All right, so a few more tips that I picked up while using n8n. So if you have an issue with your workflow, you're not sure why something's working, you don't know what to do, there's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can take a screenshot of the whole thing and go to AI, go to an AI model, give it your screenshot, and talk about what is going wrong with your workflow and explain to it exactly what's not working, why it's not working, what kind of errors you're getting, what you want to do, and it'll help you. Maybe you don't know how to structure it, maybe you don't know how to do something. Anything like that, giving it a screenshot usually helps a little bit more to give a context. Or you can also highlight everything, Control C, and just paste into your text box, and you'll have the JSON file of the exact workflow that you're working on. And this is also super useful to give to AI. And AI can even take your JSON file, edit it for you, and then you can put it back into your workflow just by simply pasting, and you'll have your new edited workflow built by AI for you. It doesn't work all the time, and it doesn't work for bigger workflows, I found, but it's going to get better as AI gets better, and it still is pretty useful. And my other tip was just getting Hey Agile-led code. Like I said, as you build more and more complex automations, being able to write code makes things a lot easier, and having AI write that code for you is really effective. So far, I've found that Claude 4.0 is the best model to generate code, but I'm sure it's going to change as time goes on. But I would definitely recommend, if you want to do something complex and you don't know how to do it, just go back and forth with AI and you'll figure it out. And lastly, self-hosting. Self-hosting is super cheap and it's really easy to do. I'm going to create a video and I'll show you guys exactly how I self-hosted my n8n workflow, but it can be as little as $6 a month, and you can have unlimited workflows, unlimited executions, and it's at 24/7. It's fast. You can log in, and it's great. That's one of the most amazing things about n8n. There's other platforms similar like Think.com, but I honestly find that n8n is just the top tier, best one for me. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to keep putting out content on AI workflows and building things. I find it really fun and enjoyable, and I just figured I'd share some of the things I built. Stay tuned for some automations. I'm going to be showing you guys that I've already built, how to do them, give you guys the templates, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.